Whew.
Oh, now I can hear you.
Oh, there we go.
All right. Now we're live. You running late?
Oh, yeah. Had to do a little grocery shopping. Whew. Boy, oh, boy. So, yeah. Ugh.
Well, I am going to get the twice-barreled rye that we bought.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Might have to do the same, though. How about that? Hey, Alexa, play jazz music on Amazon Prime.
The station, Ultimate Jazz, on Amazon Music.
All right. So, anyone out there? What are you guys sipping on tonight?
Got one viewer at the moment.
Well, what is that one viewer watching right now? Well, I'm getting everything set up for this little tasting here.
So we'll wait for some more people to join and before we really start talking about what we did. But I am drinking the Distillery Series, number 13. Hello, Shane. How are you?
Hello.
Eric. Good evening, Eric. So this past weekend, I did pick up the Distillery Series, number 13, while we were at Jack Daniels. It is a twice-barreled rye at 107 proof. So
yeah, what he said. Same here.
That's what I'm pouring tonight. So this past weekend, we took a little road trip.
It's a small one.
Yep.
Yeah.
They had the Sagamore Double Oak and Solon. It's a great bottle. If you don't have one, you should grab one. I would always recommend that. It's a really good bottle. But yeah, so we did a road trip this past weekend. And we were just kind of going to recap what we went through and what we did while we were headed down south.
What a trip.
Yeah, videos will be coming out. In fact, tomorrow there's going to be a special video release. We'll talk about here in a little bit. But I started my weekend trip on Thursday, but Devin actually went down Wednesday evening, right, Devin?
Correct. Wednesday late evening.
And why don't you tell everybody watching exactly what you did and what happened?
All right. So what happened was that Wednesday evening, we dropped the cats off. We're like, all right, they got a place to hang out, And then we're like, all right, we're going down. So we went down to Kentucky. We drove down through the evening, got down to Heaven Hill because Heaven Hill, at least lately, has been putting out really good releases. Excuse me. So we get down there at 3 a.m. We're like, all right, sweet. We're here. We're doing the stuff. We're at the place with the hot stuff, right? And then we're waiting hours and hours and hours. People are showing up. There's probably 40, 45 people in line. And then around, was it 8:15 or so? They open at 9:30, I believe. Guy comes out and goes, no release today. And so we left.
I don't think we're not doing the Four Roses tonight, Devin.
Oh, we're not? Oh.
No, we were just going to recap our trip. We'll save the Four Roses for after you get back from your training.
All right. I was getting all excited to try these new other ones.
So that was Wednesday night to Thursday morning. Well, Thursday morning, we left, my wife and I, and we went down to Kentucky, and we ended up in Bardstown in the afternoon. We met up for a little bit. Devin and his wife ended up crashing because they were up all night the night before.
We're going back to bed. It's like 6 o'clock at night. We're like, we're done.
Yeah. Then about 3 a.m., we went back to Heaven Hill that next morning, so Friday morning. And it was freezing cold. And we waited at a little after 8 o'clock. The guy came out again, no release. So 2 days in a row, 5 hours waiting, getting there at 3 a.m. Devin struck out. I had struck out once. And I actually posted, we were TikToking. I was doing like hourly updates. And the update where we struck out, I think people enjoy seeing other people fail because it didn't get like 35,000 views.
Yep.
So that was interesting. but after that, we went around and we were doing some hunting. We recorded some videos at some stores and stuff like that. And we did run across a bottle that I was very happy to get. The Obtanium whiskey aged in Stitzel Weller barrels.
Jeez, let's see if you can see that.
For
Focus.
28 years in Stitzel Weller barrels, and it's 80% alcohol, so 160 proof. And it's very, very good. But I was really excited we found that bottle. That was a good get. So, struck out at Heaven Hill, but managed to get a pretty nice score at one of the liquor stores down there. And we just spent the rest of that day just kind of traveling down from Elizabethtown to Lynchburg. Hit liquor stores along the way. Like I said, we'll have video of different stores and stuff that we recorded at. And Anna did find it. She did do good. That was a great bottle. I'm really glad we got those.
Mm-hmm.
And then we made it down to Jack Daniel's. Yeah, 160. The thing is, it doesn't drink 160, Eric. I mean, it's hot, but it's not 160 hot. It's like drinking a 130 proof.
Yeah.
So it's really good. It's just all that time in the barrel. But we got down to Jack Daniel's and we ended up doing a tour that day and just kind of hanging out. We had some other friends with us as well.
Can you hear me, guys? Hear me all right? I'm trying to see if I can get back into this.
What did you do now, Devin? Okay. Now we can't hear you. All right. Anyway, when Devin gets that figured out. So we went to Jack. We did the tour, which is a lot of fun if you've ever been there before. And we just kind of hung out in that area. We stayed in a nearby town, Tullahoma. Went and had some dinner and hit some liquor stores down there. You were okay, Devin. I don't know what you switched. I can see you. I just can't hear anything. There's no sound. I don't know if you got something muted or what. Still can't hear you. Yeah, technical difficulties. Why are you switching back and forth?
How about now?
Yes.
All right.
All right. Yep.
All right. No, I couldn't see any of the comments or anything. It was just like not really working out for me. So, all right.
All right. So anyway, we did the tour down at Jack Daniel's. We had a really great tour guide. I recorded that. I'm going to eventually get that up. Basically, the tour recorded.
He was very good. Very informative.
He was a really good tour guide. He's probably one of the best tour guides I think I've had at any of the distilleries I went to. He was really entertaining. We went and ate and kind of hung out, hit some liquor stores, and got ready for the next morning, Saturday, which was the day of the World Barbecue Championships. So we got there early in the morning the next day, and we were hoping for a special release at Jack, but unfortunately there was no special release. So I just ended up getting a bottle of the Distillery Series. And we went to the Squire tent that day, that morning after it opened about 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we went over to the Squire tent and they had it set up where we're Tennessee Squires, and our friends that were with us all were, and you're able to get in, and they got like some trucks set up, food trucks, and like a Jack and Coke truck, and they have live music playing and stuff like that. And they had like some tickets so we could get lunch. They were giving away some different little swag things, and we got like some cooling towels, and they were selling Squire gear and like the barrel heads, just stuff like that. And so we kind of hung out there. We brought our flasks, since it's a dry county. They can't really sell anything. Hey, Brian, how you doing? So we brought our flasks, and we were, having a little bit of little sips and ate some food. And lo and behold, Chris Fletcher came over. And if you don't know, Chris Fletcher is the master distiller for Jack Daniels.
Yep.
And he got up on stage and did like a little interview thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was pretty exciting. So we went up there, and I was recording it. And as we were getting to the end, he had someone come up and take a question. He took a question. And so Devin and I were like, well, we should go ask a question. We talked about it a little bit to the side. And as soon as he finished answering the other one, he was kind of getting ready to go. And Devin walked up and said, I have a question. And they said, okay, yeah, one more question. So Devin got the last question. And if you haven't seen the video, he asked about the Jack Daniels 14 year and the process of how they do it and what the proof would be. So we got him recorded on video saying that the process of, they take it, they age it, the last 6 years, they bring it down to the bottom floor so it kind of settles. Hey, old Pirate Bourbon. Cheers. And the big part was, he said it's going to be bottled at barrel proof. Right. So we have on video him saying that, yes, there's going to be a Jack Daniels 14 year that will be released next spring, and it will be a barrel proof.
Yep.
So I thought that was pretty big.
Yeah, me too. I was like, oh man, it wasn't going to be just 100 proof or 90 proof or any kind of,
or just watering it down at all. It's going to be bottled. It's going to be barrel proof. That's going to be fantastic. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, me too.
So I put up the clip of just that part with Devin asking the question, which was pretty cool. Be able to get that on video. But tomorrow we'll be releasing the full interview with him, the full like 18 minutes that he was talking. So he talks about other stuff in there. You'll see he talks about an 18-year release and stuff like that, and some single barrel stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty interesting. It was nice to see him come out and talk, because everybody there were Squires, or like the family of Squires. So he kind of came out to that little Jack Daniels community basically to give that interview.
Yeah.
It was neat. And so as he was leaving, he got off the stage. The last question, he had to go because he was one of the judges for the barbecue championship.
Mm-hmm.
The other person who was with us, Jessica, she kind of went right after him. So we went right behind her, and we called him just as he was leaving. And we got him to sign a bottle. So that was pretty neat.
Mine's in my cabinet. I put it over in there.
Yeah. So we got a little 375 single barrel proof signed by the master distiller. That was a pretty nice little score.
1 of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, we were the only ones. The 3 of us were the only ones to get him to sign, and he had to take off. So that was a good time. And then we went down to the actual barbecue, which is down in the town.
Wait, before the barbecue, don't forget about the
oh yeah, I was going to save that for after. I'll go back to it. Yeah, it's a little special. We'll talk about that. We went down and we went to the park where all the barbecue teams were, and we had, a lot of them had samples, had a bunch of ribs and wings and just stuff like that. And it was fantastic, man. Those guys, they make some great barbecue with those competitions.
Terrific ribs.
Oh, the ribs were fantastic for sure. And so we kind of did that for a little bit. We wrapped that up. But yeah, before we went down there, we went to the general store. If you've ever been to Jack Daniels, you'll know in Lynchburg, they have the general store. Well, they sell all the Jack items, shirts and hats and glasses and all that kind of stuff. They also sell barrels. They have like barrels they finished up real nice, and they're like $250, $300 or whatever. And they've made into cabinets and tables and all that kind of stuff. And we were talking. I was like, I wonder how much the unfinished barrels are. And so Devin went up and asked, and they were like $75 for an unfinished barrel. We were like, wow, that's a really good price. And we had been talking about a project that we kind of were thinking about doing. So we ended up buying barrels.
Mhm.
Yeah, there were like one-time used Jack Daniel's barrels that were dumped. They're in fantastic shape. And we're talking about we're going to do an infinity barrel. Right? I mean, that's our plan. We're going to take the one Devin got and we want to fill it up, keep track of what we're putting in it, and build an infinity barrel to be barreled in that Jack Daniel's used barrel. So that should be interesting, to say the least. And we're talking. I mean, we've got our bourbon club. We're getting a bunch of people together. I think we're going to have a pretty good initial start of bottles to put in there, and we'll purchase some. But I think we're also talking about reaching out to the community and saying, hey, if you want to send in a bottle, when it's all said and done, when we rebottle it, we'll send you back the Infinity Blend. So we might be opening that up to people. We'll probably take a couple months to get everything set up. We still gotta kind of fill it up, the barrel up, do any leaks, plug them up, stuff like that. But
let it age a little bit.
Yeah, we gotta let it expand. But the barrel was in great shape. It was real tight. So
yeah, they gave us a bunch of extra bungs and all sorts of stuff. I'm like, all right, well, I think we should have a good time with this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a neat project. It's going to take a whole lot of bottles to fill, or even if it's not completely full, to fill up enough to really do what we want to do. It's going to take a lot of bottles. So.
Yeah, definitely excited for it.
Yep. So that was kind of a rundown up through Saturday. And then Saturday afternoon, we left. We headed back up into Kentucky. At least Devin and I did, our wives. And I stopped early because I wanted to watch the Ohio State game, which was a huge disappointment. But I know, Devin, you drove all the way back up to Bardstown, right?
Elizabethtown. So we were like just shy of it, but I was like, you know what? This is 25 minutes away, close enough, and it's a little bit easier when you're not driving all the way back up to Bardstown while already driving and having a good time at Jack Daniel's. So it's like, well, we'll do that.
So you stayed in Elizabethtown, and you managed to acquire some interesting bottles, didn't you?
I did. I went around and I got a, let's see. I think it's in the thing over there, but I got an Eagle Rare pick at one of the stores at one John O's. It was bundled with a Sazerac rye, but it was, I think, like 80 something bucks out the door. I'm like, so it's MSRP for I think it was $84 out the door with a Sazerac and a Eagle Rare store pick. I was like, that's
a great price.
Pretty good. So I got that, and then I also got a Knob Creek for one of our buddies, Brett. Hello, if you're here and watching. And then I also got a John O's A.H. Taylor single barrel. And what else did I get while I was out? I feel like I got something else, but yeah. So yeah, it was a good time. Good time out. What's that?
That's pretty good bottles.
Yeah, we went to a couple. We were like, you know what? We got back a little earlier than like expected, and we were gonna still do Heaven Hill the next day early, but they open up later on Sundays. So I was like, well, we got some time tonight where we can still catch up on sleep. And then my wife's like, no, we got to go hit all the stores or so. No, no, Renee, the Saz was just a regular one, not a pick. Would have been really cool though if it was.
That John O's Sazerac pick, she'd have made me drive back there tonight if you had said it'd been a pick. Because the John O's Sazerac pick we have is the best Sazerac we've ever had.
Yeah, well, in that case, it was a pick. You guys should have to go to Heaven Hill tomorrow. Maybe you'll be lucky there. But yeah, so we got the Eagle Rare and Knob Creek, and etc. And then I want to say we went somewhere else and got something, but I feel like we got a couple bottles. I'll try to save most of them for that bottle share video for October. But yeah, it was a good time.
So. And so the next morning, I know you guys. What time did you end up going back to Heaven Hill on Sunday?
So on Sunday they open up at 1.
They open at 1. Yeah.
So we decided, all right, we'll sleep in a little bit, and we'll get there around I think 8:00. So we got to Heaven Hill at 8:00, and then of course we're hanging out there. There's already 5, 6, 7 people there, and then I'm texting Todd, hey, there's 9, 7, 6, whatever it is, And
Yeah,
then
so we leave about 7 a.m. from where we were down further south. And so we go ahead and head up to Heaven Hill. And we get there and we're, I think, like 10 to 11 at that point. We're like, okay, we're going to sit and wait a few more hours before they open up. And lo and behold, the door opens up and the guy says again, nothing today.
get off my lawn.
So Thursday, Devin's there. There's nothing. Friday, we're both there. There's nothing. Saturday, we're down at Jack Daniels for the barbecue championship. They hand out VVS the day we're not there. Sunday, we're there. Nothing. So when they handed nothing out, my wife and I left. We came home. But Devin did not come home.
I'm having this because I didn't get it.
Devin stayed another night, correct?
Correct. I was like, hang on, let me open this.
Oh, nice pop.
What a like hefty cork. Anyway, so I was like, well, should we go home? It was kind of a bust. Oh, well, let me backtrack. So Sunday after Heaven Hill, the guys there were like, well, maybe we'll go up to Michter's, and I was like, well, we'll go to Michter's too. And Sunday at Michter's, they don't release until they open at 12:30, but they don't release until after 1 o'clock. Yep. And so we went up to Michter's. We got there at, I was like 11:45 or something like that. We waited, and the lady comes out. She goes, "We're gonna get the 1 o'clock tour set up, but we're gonna keep you guys out here until 1 because we're gonna put out a bundle and the bottle your own, but we don't know a bundle yet." So we're like, all right, sounds good. At least they're going to put something out. It's probably going to be a Shanks and a US one or something like that. But, at least they're putting something out. That's nice. So we're waiting. And finally, we were like 20th and 21st in line, I think. And so finally, the lady comes out and she goes, so just so you know, we're going to put out the US one bourbon, the regular bourbon. I'll just pull them out. US one, the regular bourbon. The barrel strength bourbon, and then also Shane and Angela, the toasted. So they put out the toasted, and they put out a 3-pack of all three, and I was very excited.
And I know you've been wanting the toasted bourbon. You've been looking to try and get those, so I know that had to make your day.
These are the two that I do not have yet out of all the Michter's line. It's like you can see this shelf over here, like. It's like Michter's City. But those are the two that I did not have of their like standard, like limited release offerings. So I was like, you know what? Awesome. So I got one. My wife got one. So I got one in a backup, and I am super excited. And that kind of made up for at least 3 to 4 hours at Heaven Hill one of the days. But I don't know if it made up for all the days. So
yeah. Well, so that was a really good day. It was a good get there. Nice score. But you guys did spend the night. Sunday night.
Yeah, so I was like, should we just go home? We went up to the bar at Louisville at Michter's, the Fort Nelson bar. I was like, so I got a flight of the rye, and she got one of the mocktails or whatever. And then so we were like, all right, we'll hang out here, and then let's see what should we do. I'm like, should we go home or should we stay here? She's like, well, let's do one more day of Heaven Hill and see what happens. So that night we went out. We did some filming at some liquor stores. Neat. We did a little bit of videos there, and whatnot. We went out to Three Boys Farm, their new or Whiskey Thief, their new spot in Louisville. Tried to get some video there, but the sound wasn't that good because they're fan going, and they had a bunch of music and a bunch of people there. So yeah. So so then after that we went back down to Bardstown. Stayed at the old Bardstown Inn. Not too bad little spot down there, and we went to Heaven Hill the next day.
At what time?
So we went there. We're like, you know what? We've been doing this whole 3 o'clock thing. We've been, in the top 10, 11 or so. I'm like, you know what? We'll do 4 o'clock. Let's sleep in a little bit. We get there, and I think we were like 8th and 9th, maybe 10th, 11th, something like that. I was like, all right, still in the top group, but like usually as long as you get there and you're on the top 20, and if they have a release, you're going to get something. If they do it a little bit later, maybe it's like, if you're like in the 35 to 40 range, you're getting kind of worried. And after 40, you're like, I don't know, maybe I should be really worried. And then after 50, you're like, I should just go. So then we waited and waited, and I knew the time that this guy comes out and says,
Yeah, and this is what happened.
Yeah. So I know either. We do not have anything this morning. I don't know if you can hear it.
So he actually got on video the guy coming out to say, we do not have anything this morning. So
I was sitting there
4 out of 5 days you were at Heaven Hill and you got 0 bottles.
I got nothing from Heaven Hill at all the whole time I was there. The one day they came out, which was the VBS 13, we were at Jack Daniels enjoying some barbecue and getting some good footage for you guys and all that, and having a good time on that. But I missed out on the VBS 13. So on the day before, like it was Sunday, I was like, well, I'll go to they had like a party mart up there, and I was like, I'm trying this VBS 13 to see if it's really that good. And so I went, I tried it, and I will tell you, I think it's pretty good. So
yeah. Old Pirate says he's looking for a hazmat 140 plus and proof. Well, we picked up these bottles. Obtainium is Canadian whiskey that's been aged for 28 years in Stitzel Weller barrels, and they are 160 proof hazmat.
Straight fire.
So that was a pretty good score. If you run across any of those, Old Pirate, we had a pour at a bar in Frankfurt Avenue Liquors in Louisville, and we both loved it. So we've been looking for the bottle. We were happy to find it.
Cheers, Charles. Yeah,
Cheers, Charles.
It was a day and a half. It was just we went there, and then we found those. It was really, let me tell you, those things are hot, like maple syrup and then heat. Very good.
Yeah, it doesn't drink 160 hot. It's not like drinking some of that neutral spirit stuff like Everclear.
Yeah,
it doesn't drink as hot as 160, but it's hot for sure. It's like drinking a high 130s at least.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it doesn't taste like 160. Like if I put that in front of you, you'd be like, is this like a really high Elijah Craig with like a bunch of maple syrup and not like as much like peanutty nuttiness? And then you're
like,
oh,
it's very mapley for sure. So yeah, that was our weekend. It was pretty exciting, a lot of fun. I was exhausted by the time I got home, but then I turn around and Thursday morning I'm leaving to go back down because I'm going to the Jim Beam Smoke and Grill event. So we're going down for that Jim Beam dinner on Thursday. So it's going to be another long weekend. Yep.
I got some training coming up, so I'll be gone for a little bit. But
yeah, and I know Devin's going to be gone next week, right? You won't be here?
Yeah, I'll be gone for almost 3 weeks.
For almost 3 weeks.
Yep.
But even though he's gone, I'm still going to do a live stream next week. And what I'm going to do, so as I mentioned before, if you've watched any of our other live streams, one of the winners from our 500 sub giveaway never got back in contact with me. I kept trying to reach out to him and I never heard anything back. So that package that he had won, I'm going to put back up as a giveaway because I'm just not going to hold it forever. I mean, I've got it boxed up. I'm going to be ready to ship it out. But it is one of the packages, and this isn't the exact one, but it's kind of what was in it. It was a Weller Special Reserve and like 5 different samples. And so what I'm going to do is next Thursday, I'm going to have a live stream, and I'm going to give it away to somebody watching on the live stream. So it's going to be somebody who's there so they can reach out and just let me know that they're there and they're going to accept it and they can contact me. So I'm not going to go through what I went through last time.
Yeah. So tell just your close friends. That way you guys can all share it together. You know?
Cheers, Thomas, and welcome. He says, welcome from Michigan. So so next week I'm going to have a live stream. I'm going to do it on Thursday. I'm going to put stuff out before that. And this will be, or a package like this will be given away. So I'm going to draw somebody who's actually watching. We'll get a chance to win a Weller Special Reserve. And I can't remember all the exact samples, but you have to go back and look. I think it was like a 1924
for
Elijah Craig C923, Larson C923, Jack 10 batch 3, and one other. I can't remember what it was.
Stag.
Maybe Blanton's Gold.
It was Stag.
Yeah, it was a Stag 23C. You're right.
C, yeah.
So those will go back up. to a watcher in next week's live stream. So watch when we're going to post it. Sounds like a Patreon only giveaway. No, this one will go to anybody watching on the live stream, Charles. But also next week, I am going to draw the winner of our Patreon giveaway. We're going to be doing a monthly Patreon giveaway. And this month, the winner will get a sample of the Old Fitzgerald 7-year 1970 decanter distilled by Stitzel Weller. So Devin had to pour this at my birthday. It was
on my scale of like good and like pretty good, it was like woo. So,
yeah,
like hot damn.
Yep. So it's Stitzel Weller distilled 7-year-old Old Fitz, and it will go to one of our paid Patreon members. Yep. So right now that we only have 2. So if people go and sign up between now and then, they'll have a chance to be in that giveaway.
$2 you in.
Yep. So next week we'll be giving some stuff away on the live stream, and I don't know yet if I'm going to just do it solo or if I'm going to have somebody come join me. I'll probably have somebody come join me, but since Devin won't be around, he'll be at his military training places that if he told us he'd have to kill us type thing.
No. Operational security. Can't tell you everything. I'll be away. So, but yeah, if you guys feel like joining, please feel free. And then I'm sure I'll do another sample giveaway for the next time. I've also got some old dusty decanters that I've been waiting to crack and let everyone else enjoy it as well. So
I think that's something we should do for a live stream. I know Devin does have some old, I don't know if they're Jim Beam or Wild Turkey decanters that haven't been opened.
I've got quite a few.
Yeah, I think we'll do a live stream. We're going to crack one of those open and give a sample of that as a giveaway as well.
All right.
See which ones you got.
So I've got quite a few. I'm trying to think of ones that are like I have. I think this Ducks Unlimited. That one I opened up a couple months ago, and then some of these are open, some of these are not. But very like that one's a 12-year Jim Beam. That's a 4-year Jim Beam in the truck. That's unopened. Key West Fish Guy is unopened. I think the Indian is unopened. The Democrat and Republicans are not opened. Boston 1980 Centennial. I think maybe even the baseball and the Louisville is not open either. So
if you've never had a chance to get a pour from some of these old bottles that have never been opened, they're amazing.
Quite delicious. So
I
really like the truck. That's like the cool. Like you can totally have a kid and play with this truck and be like, yeah, it's just a toy truck. Like it moves and everything. It's like so yeah, definitely.
Free samples for the community. We're going to give away samples and stuff, and we're like around 725 now subscribers, and when we hit 1,000, we're going to have a big giveaway when we hit 1,000. So, and we're getting there pretty quick. I think in 4 months we're at like 725. So it's been doing pretty good as far as our growth.
Yeah,
and we did hit our 3,000 watch hours. So we get like super chats and stuff. So I have went and applied for that. You have to apply through YouTube, did set up some kind of account or something. So that's in the process right now.
Yeah.
They are very cool decanters. I love those old decanters and the old whiskeys. So good.
So I'm gonna have a little pour of one right now, actually. Let's see.
But yeah, so we're going to give away the Weller package to a viewer next week, someone who's on during the live. I'll run the giveaway, just like I'll do a hashtag or whatever. And it'll run through and give that away. We'll draw a winner from the paid Patreons to get a pour of the Old Fitz Stitzel Weller. And then when Devin gets back from his training, the next live we do, we'll finish the Four Roses samples. Where we did the OBs last time. So we'll do the OEs. And once we get done doing them all, we kept a little bit each of us kept about half a little thing of samples, and we'll send some like OEs out to somebody. We'll do as a giveaway, and the OBs we'll send out to somebody as a giveaway.
Yeah.
So some of the viewers will get a chance to go taste part of the Four Roses tasting kits. So lots of good stuff coming. And hopefully within like sometime about in December, we can get that barrel situated and make sure we got it all ready to go, and we can start an infinity barrel. So I'd like to get that filled up and let it sit for like 6 months and give it a try and see how it tastes.
But it would taste pretty good.
I think so too.
Yeah. So anyhow, I'm going to try a little sample of this one right now. So this is a Wild Turkey, a 101 proof, 8 years old. And it's like their like little bulldog 75th anniversary one or whatnot. So I went to a estate sale, found this one, and my wife's like, I think it's unopened. I like looked at it and I like moved the cork, and it like started to open. I'm like, oh, I better just buy this, and it was only $12. So I was gonna buy it anyway, but yeah. So I decanted it right away. I sipped it through into this Elijah Craig, and it's like pretty dark, and since it's 101 proof, it usually holds up pretty well to that aging process versus like the 80s and the 86.6s. But I'm gonna have
Thank you, old pirate. Yeah, please hit that like button. It helps our videos, helps like that YouTube logarithm, all that kind of stuff. So the more likes you get, the better it is. The more people will see you, the faster you grow, the more we can do for the community, as we grow. The more access we can get. If you haven't seen it, we got some behind scenes access to a distillery here in Ohio recently. We went and we got to do the samples and stuff like that. We got to interview the master distiller, and I was really surprised how good their stuff was. Honestly, I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. And we've also been in contact. We got another Ohio distillery we're going to be going to. We're kind of going to try to do an Ohio distillery series since that's where we live. And it's a little easier for us to be able to do that instead of have to go take a couple of days off work and travel down to Kentucky and Tennessee like we did this past week.
Let me tell you, the nose on this thing, it's like sweet leather, cherry, tobacco, and just like this does sound like Luxardo cherry.
Thomas, you're absolutely right. The older stuff is so much better, and I'm personally convinced it's got a lot to do with the barrels because they used a lot older wood with tighter rings. I think it just gave it a lot more character. Plus, the older stuff, it wasn't as in demand, so they weren't pulling it at 4 years. I mean, a lot of that stuff in there, like kind of lower shelf, were still 8 to 10 years old. Yeah. Back in like the 70s and 80s. Is that the same sample you gave me of Wild Turkey?
Yeah.
I still got like half a thing of that left.
Woo, do it. So yeah, I gave Todd a sample of this and William Lou Weller for his birthday last year. This one is like, I think 48 now, I guess 49 years old. So yeah, I think it's trying to remember the year on this 1975 75th commemorative. So
this is all I got left of it. Not much, but I'll use the wee Glen for the wee pour.
Yeah. But yeah, let me know if you get this nose. I had I went to the Neat Bar in Louisville.
Cheers, Steven.
Yeah, cheers.
Oh, the nose on these older whiskeys is so good.
Yeah. I tried a pre-fire Heaven Hill. It was like something rifle, like old rifle, musket rifle. I got a picture of it, but it was like a 5-year, I think, bottled and bond Heaven Hill from the 90s or 80s or maybe even 70s, and it was really good. I was like, holy smokes, this is pre-fire Heaven Hill. I wonder what like this stuff now will be like in like 10, 15, 20 years that they're producing.
Right. So if you're just joining, we're trying a pour of, it's 1976.
1975, right? Wild Turkey 101 commemorative, 8 years old, decanter series with a little doggy on top and a little bulldog. So,
yeah, some old dusty turkey.
It's like built like a Mack truck. It's part of the language. I guess this is what it says on the bottle here. Built like a Mack truck.
And it's just so good. It's just so good. The older stuff, so good. So Yeah, Angela, we are doing more in Ohio, and I know you're up in here in Northeast Ohio, so we've got a couple other distilleries that we've talked to who are going to give us some access, and we're going to be able to go in and kind of give you our honest opinion of their stuff. The Western Reserve that we went and did, I thought their 10-year was absolutely amazing. I thought it was really, really good. The 8-year was okay, but not anywhere near as good as that 10-year. That 10-year barrel proof was a great pour. Yep, that's it.
Boy,
I got one over there too. Yeah.
A little dent in this. I've had a couple pours.
Look how dark that is. That's so dark. Yeah, their 10-year barrel proof was really, really good.
Yeah.
Thomas says the Wild Turkey and Four Roses were awesome back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
I was sipping it back then. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm sure you'd love to have some more and sip some more. We'll be giving away some samples, and maybe you can get another taste of it.
I haven't tried the old like Dusty Four Roses. I have a.
I don't have any of the Four Roses. I've got the Stitzel Weller, and I've got a Jim Beam from 1960. I think it's 68. But I haven't opened yet. What is everybody sipping tonight? Steven, Thomas, Brian, what are you guys sipping? Oh, where'd you get that one?
1956. It's just a little baby one.
I know, but where'd you get that one?
What's that?
Where'd you get that one?
I got this at the same one I got this one at. I got the one for your Buckeyes one.
The Hoffman.
It was like $2, and I was like, and on the bottom it says 45, 54. So I want to say it was 54 was the year this was made. I'm not too sure. If you guys know more about it than I do, let me know. But I will eventually try this at one point. But that's the only Four Roses that I have that's that old.
Did you get one of the old Dusty Early Time minis that we got, that Jason got?
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet, but I did get one. I was like, you know what?
I don't want to open it.
$15. I was like, we should have gotten two. Jason, if you're on, get us more.
Steven says he picked up a Jim Beam Winter Reserve last night. We were looking at that on the trip.
I saw that a few times, and I saw that it's Bourbon. I did a review on their shelf available, like Jim Beam Black and some of the other ones, and the Double Oaked, and that one won by a good bit. So I was like, I think I saw it for $22 or so in Kentucky.
Now I've got the Jack Winter. Is it the same thing? I never even really paid attention to that.
Jim Beam Winter, like a reddish kind of bottle. It looked kind of fall-y at the same time, but I heard it was like the best one that they tried. And I was like, I kind of wanted to pick it up, but at the same time, I was buying a lot of other bottles, and I was like, I don't know if I can do it yet. So,
well, Brian says he's not drinking. He's at the shop working on a coffee table. He's got a live show at 9. So you guys at 9 o'clock, head on over to Cast 529 and check out their live. I'll try to join Brian. I should be able to jump on for a little bit. Thomas said he spent half the day looking for a Winter Reserve. Really? They were all over Kentucky, Devin. We saw them just about every store we went in. That Jim Beam Winter Reserve.
I was like, I pointed out, I'm like, oh, there's another one. Oh, I'm like, $22, $23. I'm like, I just wanted to get it, but
now I might have to buy one. You guys keep talking about it. When I go back down Thursday, I'm going to grab one.
The budget bottle I got on my trip was the JTS Brown Bonded.
Yeah, you love that little bottle.
This bottle, I tried at the distillery, and one or two other times that like you go to Morel's Whiskey Kitchen, and they usually have like $3 pours, and usually they're like, yeah, it's this one, and I'm like, the $3, this is at a restaurant, like this is solid. So I was like, you know what, we do reviews and stuff like that. I'm like, I'll have to do this in our like low proof flights and whatnot, or low price flights or whatnot, but it usually comes out pretty well whenever I've tried it. I'm like, you know what? I think the 100 proof, I'm not sure if it's a Kentucky only or whatever, but I only see the 80, I think 80 proof around here. So I'm like, you know what? I see it. I got to get it, even though Heaven Hill burned me that night or that morning. And I'm like, you know what? I'm still going to get this one bottle. Hopefully they don't keep burning me, and they did. So
Brian said he got some Dark Arts cast strength. I've never had any of that Dark Arts. I don't.
I
I
haven't.
mean, I've seen people talk about it, but I haven't tried it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. But yeah,
So yeah, I'm gonna have to grab one of those winter reserves. I think if it's now I'm curious. So I'm going to grab it.
yeah.
We did get a sample pack to try and to do on a live though, a later live. Do you got that, Devin? I think you're the one who had it. You brought it home.
Yeah.
So you can now buy sample packs of the Bardstown Origin series, including the White Dog. So we're going to sample that one night on a live. We're going to do that.
I'm going to give you some specs on these different bottles or little glasses. All right. So we've got, let's see, Origin Series Bourbon. It's our 6 year, 60% corn, 36 rye, 4 malted barley mash bill at 96 proof. Then you've got the Origin Series Rye, which is their 6 year, 95.5 at 96 proof. The Bardstown, just their straight distillate at 100 proof, which is the same 60, 36, and 4% malted barley. And then they have the Origin Series Bottle and Bond, their 6 year, 68% corn, 20% wheat, and 12% malted barley at 100 proof. Don't worry, I memorized all of that for this video.
Yeah. Charles said he picked up an E.H. Taylor barrel proof today. What batch? I love the E.H. Taylor barrel proofs. But which batch did you grab?
Yeah.
Cheers, frontiersman. Good to see you. I saw your video. You got the turkey 70th anniversary. I got one too. I haven't opened it yet, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely glad I grabbed one.
I was able to pick up one, and then I was able to get one more, and then I had to roll out, and then everyone else was like, me. I'm like, I was only able to get the one, and we already on the road, so. But
yeah, I'll get another one when they hit Ohio. Hit Ohio. So, but yeah, I'm pretty excited to open that and try that. I'm a turkey fan, so
yeah,
excited to get that one. I know I love the 12 year. The 12 year is amazing. I wish it was released in the States.
All right. So any suggestions on what I should have next?
Mm.
And don't worry, I got water, so don't say water either.
So what do you guys think? What do you want Devin to try?
Lots of options.
I'm still gonna sip a little more of this Jack Daniels twice barrel dry.
That one was really good.
Yeah.
I'm interested to know how that is versus the twice barrel rye 100 proof. Yeah.
Oh, it's you know what? It's definitely you can tell the proof difference. I don't think it's quite as sweet. I think the twice barrel's sweeter, which makes me believe it's probably a little bit older. But they mixed in that. Anna says, "Do you drink some Hirsch?
Hirsch.
Your yellow label."
Well, I do like me some Hirsch. Well, if anyone doesn't know about this particular bottle / brand, what Hirsch does is they get their sourced whiskey from a little distillery in Kentucky near Bardstown that also happens to make purple topped items. But this is a 95% of 8 year, 7 month Willet juice, which is a 72% corn, 13% rye, and 12% or 15% malted barley. And then they use 5% of 3 year and 7 month, 74% corn, 18% rye, and 8% malted barley. Also rumored to be close to that Bardstown area at 1792. So you pretty much have
a lot of the Willet purple top stuff in it.
And a little bit of 1792. So, well,
Steven said that he'll get the 70th on the 26th at the Bama drop. Tennessee hasn't dropped it yet. Didn't we see it in Tullahoma? I think we saw that 70th at a store in Tullahoma.
I think we did, and it was like $58.99. We saw one at that one gas station liquor store. I think it was called the
Liquor World or Liquor Planet. I can't remember something like that. Liquor something like.
I think it was Mammoth Liquors, and I was like $58.99. I'm like, it's so close, but I just can't do it. I was like, ugh. But then I saw one for I think it was like 52. I was like, 52 is $2 more than MSRP. I was like, all right, I'll do that. It's fine. So
Frontiersman says he's got a bottle of Hirsch that one of his YouTube members sent him.
yeah.
We haven't had anything sent to us yet.
Yeah. Well, we did get the was it from Dan, the stag. Thank you very much.
Don got you the stag. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we did get a sample of that Crittington's Double Oak store pick.
Yeah, you did, and then
And we did a review of that. We haven't posted yet.
Yeah. So then, and then also Paul's let us use the Blade and Bow 22 for review. Thank you, Paul.
Well, Paul's great about that. He'll let us get bottles all the time.
Yeah, it's not like we know him or anything, but
right. That one's a lot easier.
So what was the Hirsch that you got sent to you? Was it a like that Willet juice, or was it something else you think? Anyhow, this Hirsch is
the yellow label is the one with the Willet, right?
Yes. Well,
it's a yellow label.
The single barrel, double barrel. So what they do is they take the those two distillates, and I guess they put them into one barrel to double oak them, and they call it a single barrel. And that's how they get away with the single barrel double oaked with two different mash bills, unless they somehow put them together and then throw them in another barrel. But yeah.
Okay. It's pretty good. I guess.
Proof.
What was it?
128.2 proof.
128.2.
Yeah.
The Willet stuff is all right. Even like when we had the purple top, it's good, but it doesn't blow me away. It didn't hit me with like the price point that it's at.
Not even at 141.6 proof?
No, not at the price point. Not when I got stuff like the Russell's 15. I've had that.
Yeah, that is quite good. Yeah.
All right, Frontiersman. I'll hit you up with that. I'll send that to you.
Yeah, thank you.
I saw you had sent me the message about the holiday thing. We decided not to do it. If you change your mind, let us know and we'll join in. Yeah, we'll do, absolutely. I'll send you a message.
Yeah, that Hirsch mouthfeel is like, it's pretty good. Quite delicious. Oh yeah. I'm currently I'm a 2XO. I'm a little thicker on the,
Yeah. I'm glad I bought two of these. This is really good.
Which one, the rye?
That Distiller Series, yeah. That twice barreled rye. That's a real nice sipper.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. Very good.
I like Tennessee. I like going down there. I mean, we've been to Jack, I don't know, 8 or 9 times now. And I mean, it's a pretty good drive for us, but my wife and I like to get down there. We just really love the area. We like hanging out. Even if you go when there's not an event, we like to go and hang out in town and stuff like that. So it's really nice down there. I like it.
It's my first time, so I enjoyed it. I was like, wow, pretty cool tour. Nice tasting and cool little spot. It was a nice event too. So.
Yeah, we need to go back there when there's not the big event because it was so busy. Go back there like at a normal time when it's a little more relaxed, especially then you get to kind of hang out in the Squire house and sit around and maybe have a few sips and just talk to people and stuff. And it's more laid back.
It was very warm and very crowded. I was like, man.
It was hot.
Did you want to tell them about the Ohio team that was down there?
Oh yeah, well, it'll be in the video that's coming out. But
okay.
We found the Ohio team or the barbecue team representing Ohio. So we actually interviewed them about the whole process of what it takes to get into the barbecue championships and stuff like that. And it was pretty interesting to hear all the stuff they got to go through. I mean, I don't do any of that stuff, but it takes a lot. They got to they have to win a state sanctioned competition or something like that.
There's so many people, and it has to have at least, I forget what it was, but it was like at least so many teams. Like, I'm like, okay, it wasn't just like 3 teams. And you're like, all right, I'm number 1 out of these 3 teams. All right, I'm going to Jack Daniels. It was pretty lucrative. So
yeah, you had to win it. You had to win a state championship, and then all the teams. There's like it's something like the governor has to declare the competition a state championship, and there's a certain number of them every year, and then all the winners go into a bag, and they draw the person who will represent the state at the championship. But Steven asked us, did we go to the barbecue fest? Absolutely. You probably weren't here when we started the whole video here talking about it. But Yeah, that's the reason we went down there to the World Barbecue Championship. We went down there and we were in the Squire tent. We got to hear Chris Fletcher. He gave like a talk and stuff, and we got to ask him a question. We asked him about Jack 14 specifically and the process and the proof. And then he let us know that Jack 14 will be coming out next spring and it will be at barrel proof, which was pretty spectacular. But yeah, then we spent the rest of the day. We were at the barbecue. We went and saw all the trailers and the teams and stuff, and it was fantastic. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. My wife is saying I should have the Russell's 15. I'm like,
Hi, Tina.
Man, like maybe if she comes down here and opens it, maybe I'll have it. Maybe I'll persuade her to come down here. So
Russell's 15, that is so good. Oh, yeah, fantastic. Yours isn't open yet?
Maybe it's about to be in about 2 minutes. But
maybe it's about to be.
I always like when she opens it because it's like a fun thing for both of us. I'm like, yeah, you open it and I'll get to enjoy it, you know. And she was one that got the, so she went out one morning. I don't know if you saw the video before for our bottle haul, but she went out. I was going down to training, and she's like, they're releasing the Russells and all the wild turkeys and all the stuff. And I'm like, all right, gobble, gobble, got to go get it. But I couldn't because I was going to training. So she's like, all right, I'm going to go to the store. It's about, an hour away. I'm like, I hope you get there in time. And she gets there. She was number 20. And she's like, I hope they have it. And they came out and like, we only have 18 bottles. And I guess the two guys in front of her were like, well, we wanted the Master's Keep, and they just left. So I was super excited that she was like, I got the last one. So it looks like we're going to be opening this one. So
yeah, she did excellent getting you that bottle. if you pour that, I'll give a pour of mine too. I'll drink a pour.
So, well, she's going to open it over here, and I'm very excited for it.
Charles E.H. Taylor that he got was batch 11.
Oh, nice. My wife also likes the batch 11.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oof.
That was a nice pop.
Very nice. I just put it over there and then it just opened itself, you know? So, well, anyway, shout out to my wife, Anna, for going out and getting this bottle. I love you very much.
Great job, Anna.
Yeah. Well. I'll have to get a new blend for this one.
So I'm going to join you with a pour.
All right. Let's see.
Thomas says his local liquor store told him that a lot of good bottles are going to be available on Black Friday. I'm going to be first in line when they open. You know, that's like back in the, I'm old school. I remember lining up on Black Fridays, like back in the 90s and stuff, when there was no online doing any of that stuff or getting tickets. You had to go just stand there for 5 or 6 hours in the cold.
This nose is so
Frontiersman. It is amazing. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you.
Goodness.
That is just one of the best noses I've ever had on a bourbon.
I have a trade lined up to get a bottle out there. I got to get down there and get it. So, Mark, I promise.
When all the people who got it early and they were talking about whiskey of the year, and I'm always a little skeptical until I tried it, and they were absolutely right. I don't know how anything. I haven't had anything. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to do a bracket at the end of the year. We're each going to pick 4 bottles. Yeah. And if we pick the same, we'll fill in the bracket. We're going to do an Elite 8, and we're going to do a bracket head-to-head for whiskey of the year.
Yeah. I will say when I had this at that Party Mart, I had this and the VVS 13, and the VVS 13 and the Russells. It's not that they were close. They were very different because the proof on this and the age. I mean, the other one was aged obviously 13 years, but then it was vatted for that extra 12 or so years. But it was so weird how different they were, but similar in like deliciousness. So if anyone has a lead on a VVS 13 and they want to trade, let me know, because I would love to enter that in the bracket. I'm not sure if we have any rules or stipulations for our whiskey of the year, if we have to have a bottle or not, but I would love to find a bottle of that. So
yeah, we neither of us have it, so at this point it won't be entered. But the mouthfeel on this is incredible.
I'm still on the nose.
Yeah, this is really that good. Steven says he's hoping that Alabama drops it for an end of the year drop. They got it, or they got it and gave it to all their friends.
Yeah, probably. They're like,
You know,
oh yeah, lottery,
that-
all 15
I
bottles
think
of it.
that's happened in some states. There's been trouble with like the states got it, and I think it was Oregon got busted for doing something like that.
Virginia had it where
Virginia had trouble doing with their
candy too. This is awesome, and everyone else is like, anything. What are you talking about? And they're like, oh yeah, well I got a William Weller and a Daniel Weller, whatever. And they're like, wow, how'd you get two? You know.
Yeah. I think in Oregon there was some big scandal about they were taking it and somehow giving it to their people or whatever. It's gotten crazy how, the bourbon market, I think it's calmed down a little now. It's starting to come down. You're seeing prices come down and stuff like that. Because I think you're starting to see some production ramp ups that started like maybe right before the pandemic when kind of the bourbon started to explode.
That 6-7 year rate mark now. So
yeah. But it's still crazy though. I mean, look what we did at Heaven Hill, waiting all that time just to try to get like the VVS or the Heaven Hill 18 stuff like that.
Probably close to like 18 to 20 hours just to be like 4 days. Give me a Parker's or something. I'd love to review it. That new Parker's malt. I'm not a huge malt guy, but I want to get it to at least try and review it and be like, hey guys, this is what we got. Let's try it out and see how it is. I know they're supposed to release the William Heaven Hill bottled and bond 13 year soon. I was hoping maybe that would come out. The VVS 13, which I've been looking for, and then the the Heaven Hill 18. I've also been looking to try. So
yeah, Frontiersman says that the market's cooling off and Buffalo Trace really amped up production. I will say I've seen a lot more E.H. Taylor single barrel this year than I've ever seen in the past.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of the single barrel available this year.
I think that dropped twice or 3 times so far in Ohio.
3 in Ohio, but then down at the Kroger drops down in Kentucky, there's been just absolute tons of it.
Yeah.
So that's much different from the past, several years.
Oh yeah, Todd, don't forget, I also have this for you. So I'm not sure if anyone else has ever seen one of these, but this is a Blanton's Mini, but it's a Takara Red Blanton's Mini. So I was down there in Neat in Louisville, and then they have like a restaurant and a bar. Well, not a restaurant. It was more of like a bar and like a bottle shop or like a speakeasy, something like that. But they had that, and then they have a lot of old vintage spirits, and they had like Wild Turkey 101 12 year for I think 129.
120. Yeah, it was like 120 something. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wow, with that, I was so tempted to get a bottle of that. I was like, you know what?
I almost got a bottle, but I already have one, so I didn't get one because I already have one.
Yeah,
that's even though it's like half empty.
Yeah,
but it's fantastic. I love it.
I was so close, but with all the bottles I already had, and I knew I was going to go next door and try some old Heaven Hill distillate. I was like, you know what? And I got to try it at Neat. So they also do $1.50 and $3 pours. They're like half pours or like just sample pours, probably like half an ounce or so. But they had those available, so they're like $3 to try. I'm like, you know what? I'll try the Full Roses like super premium, the only Japanese importer, Australian importer, whatnot, and that was I think $3. And a Wild Turkey 12 year for $3. I'm like, you know what? It's hard to try those without just buying a whole bottle or finding them overseas or whatnot. So I was like, you know what? I'll just try them. So
Thomas, is it just the basic Buffalo Trace, or do you mean like all the products, like the Eagle Rare, E.H. Taylor, the Weller stuff? I mean, we get a ton of the Buffalo Trace stuff here in Ohio, but we get all of it, like dropped like once a month. You'll have Antique Drop, Eagle Rare Drop, Blanton's, all that. And the Weller Special Reserve is on the shelf for days. I mean, we have it around most of the time, and the regular Buffalo Trace as well.
Yeah, a lot of times it's like the Buffalo Trace and the Weller will stay for a little bit, but the Eagle Rare, the Taylor, and Blanton's get picked up real quick. That like first release gone in 15 minutes, but all the other stuff is usually on the shelf for a little bit. So, yeah.
Yeah, we definitely get a lot of Buffalo Trace stuff here. I've got a lot of the base lineup stuff that we get. So, I'd like to see a little more of the rarer stuff, like the foolproof we don't get, or some of that other stuff. More single barrels drop.
Something like that.
Well, I think coming around in December, I think we're going to see some massive drops here in Ohio. Personally, I think we will.
Usually they have their single barrel Saturday. So like last year they did the Weller CYPB and the single barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was able to get the CYPB, and I was like, all right. So like
Yep.
what I had all of them except for the CYPB and the single barrel, which are like the two rarest ones to get. And I was like, I'm not going to hunt either one until I get one. Then I'm like, I just need one more for the vertical. But they released both of them then, and I think the year before they did Weller Foolproof as a store pick or just a ton in Ohio. But we'll see what they do this year. So
the amount of like Weller Foolproof and Weller 12 I've seen coming through other states, and Ohio not to have released any this year.
yeah.
I think we're going to have a massive amount in December.
Yeah, Ohio likes to hold on to their stuff usually. Also, I saw there was a bill, or someone had mentioned in one of the TikToks or Reels. I'm not sure if it's true, but they're trying to like get rid of people lining up for releases. Has anyone else heard about this? Because I'm kind of curious about it and want to know more about it. If you have,
What was that?
What's that?
With the guy who commented to you? Is that what you're talking about?
The guy commented, he's like,
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
I don't buy it. I'm like, if there's a bill to like tell people they can't line up for a product or like go to a store early, like even if it's like McDonald's and you're like, I'm waiting on the early breakfast, I can't get up and line up early before they open 10 minutes before. I don't know how that's going to work or whatever, but
well, the guy said some guy posted that the state is looking at implementing a law preventing people from lining up early at distilleries in Kentucky. Yeah. I just don't believe it. I think I think it's BS.
Yeah.
Because if the distilleries don't want people lining up, they'll put up a gate. Wild Turkey does. You can't go to the visitor center at Wild Turkey Road early in the morning. They got security there. They won't let you in.
Yeah.
If Heaven Hill didn't want people lining up there, they'd put up a gate so you couldn't park in the parking lot and go line up. So,
yeah,
to me, it sounds like
or anything like that, and like if you see anything for that, but I don't really see how they can implement that kind of a thing unless they kind of do like security or something like that. But
Steven says they get a drop every month in Alabama for Blanton's, Eagle Rare, and Buffalo Trace. I think I've seen maybe it was Bruzel go to one of those drops. If I understand right, Alabama's like Ohio. You have to have like a state ID, right? Like you can't. It's a raffle or something, and you get like a place in line, and you have to have a state ID, something like that. I know the drops we go to, it's absolutely amazing. Yeah, I know. There's not enough good things you can say about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so they'd be okay.
Yeah, you have to be a resident. I thought so.
IDs in Alabama, you know what I'm saying?
Dual citizenship or dual statehood. What would it be? I get like a P.O. box in Alabama. Can I get a license? Is that how it works?
Yeah. Although, how does that work for military? If you're like on orders there, I know for Ohio. So if you do a lottery entry in Ohio, and they're like, "Are you a military service member stationed in Ohio?" You can use your military ID as a resident of Ohio for that training. Just to wonder. I don't know. Maybe.
I'm sure if you're military and you're stationed there because you're living there, if you're stationed there.
Because I was at Fort McClellan for about 9-10 weeks or so, or no, 10, 11 weeks. And I'm like, first of all, it was in the summer. Terrible. Don't recommend it. But that was almost 11 years ago. Oof.
You hate the heat so much. You need to get sent out to like Fort Carson or something.
Yeah. I need to go anywhere. Go to Alaska. Let's get some like, the heat me.
I bet the bourbon honey sucks in Alaska.
Yeah.
That's
go back
so
to
good.
I'm gonna try that Hirsch versus that Russell's 15. That Hirsch is a little bit sweeter, and that Russell's 15 is definitely darker, more oaky.
Oh my god, it's oaky, but it's like cherry and sugar. It's sweet,
so inviting.
Cherry at the same time, and it's just really, really thick, really oily.
I forget the guy's name, but the guy's name, but he's like, oh, let me talk to this. It says, hello, how are you? How you been? Delicious. I'm trying to remember the guy's name, but there's a video of this guy on YouTube or whatnot. But he does all like tastings of scotch and whiskey and stuff like that. So, and then he takes the glass and he's like, oh, what we do is we start it off, we pour it in, we get rid of it, and then we go at that way we got the good clean glass. I'm like, but he was at Kentucky Bourbon Festival at Bardstown. I'm doing an interview there, but I forget his name. So
I think next year we should plan to go to that.
yeah, I think we should. Well, if I'm around town, you know what I'm saying. But if not next year, for sure.
Yeah. If you're around, we should go to it. If not, then I should go to it, and you can not go.
I saw that it's Bourbon Night just put out a video either today or yesterday. I watched it today. That they were talking about the different the top 5 tents they went to for distilleries, and they mentioned a few like Angel's Envy. They were like, it was really good. Four Roses did like a tasting, and then you go back and do like a speakeasy, which you try I think the 18, the 19, and I think the 2022 release. And then he also did they talked about something else, a couple other distilleries or spots or whatnot. And then they were like, honorable mention, Michter's had a lot of cool stuff. You can get a 10-year, get it signed by Dan McKee or Andrea Wilson, and that was pretty cool. And then Heaven Hill just was like, come on up, get your Heaven Hill 18 or VS 13 and get out of here. So I was like, all right, well, that would have been kind of like how it's been lately, but without the actual bottle. So
even if we had thrown the Russell 15, I'd have died too if it actually got thrown.
Yeah, I can't believe she got this. I went down and was trying to get one, and I was like, maybe I can go out and get one, and she's like, I got the last one. So
yeah, I was out of town too. We were down at Old Dominic doing a barrel pick when the email came out, but my mother-in-law we knew we had an idea, we thought it would be coming, so we were watching for it, and my mother-in-law was awake, and as soon as the notification came out, she ran out to the liquor store, and she was 18th in line, so she got the last bottle where she was at. So I got lucky too.
Well,
and I'm really happy I got it.
Yeah. Cheers to those mother-in-laws and wives.
Yeah.
Bottles.
And there's not a lot of bottles like where I would spend this much and be like, yeah, that's worth it. But this is one that I think is worth it. It's worth that price.
Like this rivals, or if not better than like George C. Stagg. Like it's it's like the George C. Stagg of Wild Turkey.
I wish we had this year's George T. Stagg to throw in a bracket with it.
Give it another month, and then maybe we'll find it for $124.99.
Yeah, you got to win the lottery. That's the only way you get it here in Ohio is to win the lottery for sure.
Yeah, I've yet to win. I'm waiting. Maybe
I've won a Weller 12. That's what I've won from the lottery. I've never won a big bottle.
You know.
So, yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be interesting to see in December when we do our brackets what we have and what we decide to put in there. But we'll definitely probably, I don't know if we'll live stream or record it and put out as video, but we're going to do a whiskey of the year selection between us. Well, we'll figure it out. I know at least 3 bottles I'm putting in. So. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying if you guys have any recommendations and you're like, this is definitely one to get, that would be like top 10, top 8 whiskey of the year, and we have time to maybe potentially get it now before the end of the year, let us know, because we'd love to try anything that you guys are like, this is really good. So.
Yeah. Renee says I won a Blanton's Gold. I did, but like half the state won that one. that I don't count that one. That was different. That wasn't the regular lottery. That was like a ticket lottery. But yeah, I know at least 3 bottles I want to put in. I imagine a couple of those you may have the same one, but we'll see when it comes down to it. We still got some bottles we haven't gotten yet, so we haven't tried like this year's Four Roses or this year's. Well, you had the VVS, but I haven't even tried it. There's some other stuff we haven't got a hold of yet.
Yeah, that VVS 13 was nice. At the 100 proof, I thought it drank a little hotter, which was nice, and it gave you a good mouthfeel. And then I had the Russell's 15 against it, and I was like, well, I could have to take that like dark oakiness of this versus like little sweeterness, sweetness, whatever, you know. And then the it just had a little more funkiness with the VVS 13, so it kind of like balanced out. But even though the barrel proof of this, or almost barrel proof of this, the VVS still held up in a different way. So
I want to try it for sure.
it's kind of hard.
Charles says Shanks 2024. You like the Shanks 2024 that much, Charles?
I have not tried the Shanks 2024. I almost got it this weekend. They had a bundle of the Shanks and the Bombergers, and I was very close to getting it. And I'm like, you know what? I have a few Shanks and Bombergers right now, and I just couldn't pull the trigger on it
I
because
thought you had the Shanks 2024.
no, I have the 23s.
So the last time you went, it was still 23 they were handing out? Because we went this year
Yeah,
and I knew you got one.
Yeah, last time it was the 23s. I think they were trying to push that product to get the 24s out, and then this time I was like, when they were like announcing the package, I'm like, what's the year on this one? They're like, oh, they're both 2024s. I'm like, I haven't heard as many good things about the 2024 as the 2023. So I was very tempted to get it, but I overall passed because I was thinking I was going to spend more at Heaven Hill on those bundles and get some other stuff while I was down there. And it wasn't in the budget, and it was a rough day.
Yeah. Well, Charles says he said that he doesn't have a Russell's 15, so he did Shanks 2024.
Well, the Shanks 91.2 proof, still pretty good, but I haven't tried this year's release, so I think they do a different experimental thing each year, and it might be different oak aging or seasoning or whatever. But I haven't heard too much about this year, except for I've heard a lot of people say that the 2023 release of both have been slightly better. So let me know what you think. If you've had both or you've tried them, let me know because I want to know.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the 2023, so I'm not sure I'd be a huge fan of the 2024. Just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and go. It's a little past an hour. I know Devin's got to start packing and getting ready because he's got to go to his training here in a couple of days. So thanks, everyone, for joining us. Remember, I'll be posting, but next week on a live stream, we'll be giving away a Weller package, a Weller with some samples, and we will be drawing a winner for our paid Patreon members. Get a sample of the Old Fitzgerald 7-year distilled by Stitzel Weller in 1970. So it is fantastic. I'll be posting some shorts about that, and just keep an eye out on what we're doing tomorrow. The full Chris Fletcher interview will be released, the master distiller from Jack Daniels. And then Friday is just a video of our Jack Daniels trip, just kind of what we did.
Yep.
So, we're going to have some stuff dropping here. We've got a lot of stuff in the pipeline, stuff we're working on. So just keep an eye out, keep watching, and thank you everybody who's supported us so far.
Yeah.
So,
all right, guys. Well, thank you very much. And just remember that the best bourbon or whiskey
is the one you like the most.
All right. Cheers, everyone. See you guys.
See ya.